Hello and welcome to another English lesson with me, Beth. This lesson we will be talking about the present simple tense. I hope you will feel more confident by the end of the lesson. Here we have some examples of the present simple tense. She's a nurse. She works in a hospital. The shop opens at 9 in the morning. The sun sets in the west. I wake up at 7 o'clock every day. Present simple is used to talk about things that are generally true or things that happen repeatedly or all the time. For example, this is Thea. She's a nurse. She gets up at 7 o'clock every day. She goes to work on the train. The journey takes about 30 minutes. When she is at work, she looks after people, gives them their medicine, helps them to wash, and feeds them. When she goes home after work, she relaxes, eats dinner, and tries to go to bed early. So here the verbs in present simple are all in bold. So we have gets up, goes, takes, looks after, gives, helps, feeds, goes, relaxes, eats, and tries. These are all verbs in the present simple tense because these things happen regularly, repeatedly, every day. Compare with present continuous. She is talking to a patient now is present continuous. It's happening at the time of speaking. She talks to patients every day is present simple because it is a repeated action. We usually use present simple rather than present continuous to talk about how often we do things. For example, I go to work every day. He travels to Greece every year for his holidays. She receives so many emails every week. I make myself a cup of tea 2 or 3 times a day. They call each other every evening. We swim here every summer. Here, the present simple tense is underlined. So we have I go, he travels, she receives, I make, they call, and we swim. And in the red boxes, we have phrases that are often used with the present simple tense. Every day, every year, every week, times a day, every evening, and every summer. So, how do we form the present simple? To form positive present simple sentences, we simply use the subject plus the verb plus s or es ending if needed. So I run, he, she, it runs, we, they run, and you run. You can see here that when the subject is he, she, or it, then we need to remember to add s or es to the verb. To form negative sentences, we use do or does and not. So we have the subject plus do, does not plus the verb. So I do not or don't run. He, she, it does not or doesn't run. We, they do not, don't run. You do not or don't run. Notice here that none of the verbs have the s or es ending. When forming the negative, we add that s or es to the auxiliary verb do instead of the main verb. To form present simple questions, we put do or does before the subject. Do or does plus subject plus verb. Do I run? Does he, she, it run? Do we, they run? Do you run? Notice again that we add the es ending to the do auxiliary verb rather than the main verb. If a question word is needed, then that goes before the do or does. For example, where does he live? So we have question word plus do or does plus subject plus verb. Here are the rules for whether we add s or es to the verbs. So if the verb ends in s, double s, sh, ch, or x, then we add the es ending. For example, focus becomes focuses, hiss, hisses, flash, flashes, watch, watches, box, boxes. Also, go becomes goes and do becomes does. If the verb ends in a consonant plus a y, then we remove the y and instead we add ies. For example, apply becomes applies, study, studies, cry, cries, hurry, hurries, try, tries. For all other verbs, we just add the s. So let's do some practice. Complete the following sentences using the verbs in the box. Don't forget you will need to add s or es as needed, depending on the subject of the sentence. The words in the box are think, leave, speak, rise, love, receive, exercise, work, do, travel, deny, run, and set. Pause the video now and have a go at putting those words into the right sentence. Good job. Now let's check your answers. So, sentence number 1. Every day she runs for half an hour around the park. Number 2. She is looking for a job as a translator. She speaks Spanish and English very well. Number 3. They work in government. Number 4. The train leaves at 9:30 every morning. Number 5. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Number 6. He loves her madly. They got married last year. Number 7. I travel round the world for my job. I do research for a travel company. Number 8. We're so busy. We receive new orders every single day. Number 9. He's very fit. He exercises a lot. Number 10. She thinks he did it, but he denies it. Well done if you got all of those correct and added the s or es every time you needed to. Now let's practice forming some questions. This is Tom. You want to find out more information about him. Put the words in the correct order to form questions. All the verbs are already in the correct form, so all you need to do is put them in the right order. Here is a reminder of your question words. And remember, the question word comes first, plus do or does, plus the subject, plus the verb. There are 10 questions for you to try. Pause the video now and see how you get on. Well done. And here are the answers. Number 1. Where do you live? Number 2. What do you eat for breakfast? Number 3. Who do you live with? Number 4. When does your daughter visit? Number 5. How often do you go on holiday? Number 6. Does your daughter live nearby? Number 7. Do you play sport? Number 8. Does your wife play tennis with you? Number 9. Do you like to cook? And number 10. Where do you buy your glasses from? Great job if you got all of those in the right order. Now you can see Tom's answers. Use these answers to write sentences as if you are Tom. Somebody has asked you these questions and you are replying as Tom. These sentences will either be in the positive or the negative, and remember to use contractions if you like. Pause the video now and have a go at writing those sentences. And now let's look at the answers. So your answers, your sentences should look something like this. Number 1. I live in London. I eat 2 croissants and some fruit. I live with my wife. My daughter, or she, visits every Sunday. I go on holiday twice a year. No, she doesn't, or she does not. Yes, I play tennis. No, she doesn't, or she does not. No, I don't, or I do not. And I buy my glasses, or I buy them, from a local optician. Remember, contractions are very common in spoken English, so if you can contract, try to do that. There are some verbs that are usually used only in the present simple tense, not the present continuous. They are state verbs and preference verbs, and they include know, have, i.e. for possession, like, love, hate, want, believe, own, and cost. So here are some examples. It costs £2.60, not it is costing £2.60. I want an ice cream. They don't like their new house. I know all about it. They don't believe in miracles. He loves his motorbike. She has 2 dogs. I hate my boss. They own a lot of land. Let's practice finding some mistakes. There are 14 mistakes with the present simple tense in the text below. I will read it. See if you can spot those 14 mistakes. If you need to, pause the video and read and look at the text carefully yourself. My name is Eddie, and this is my typical Saturday. I gets up early because I go for a run every week. If it is sunny, then I running in the park. But if it is raining, I goes to the gym and use the treadmill. After my run, I come home and has a shower. My wife don't run with me, so while I am running, she makes breakfast. After my shower, we are eating breakfast together. We eat pancakes and drinks coffee. Sometimes we also eat fresh fruit. After breakfast, we walks to the local shop to buy a newspaper. We do some chores at home in the morning and making lunch. We have a roast dinner for lunch about once a month. After lunch, we have a cup of tea and read the paper. I read the sport and the news, and my wife reads the business section. When we have rested, and if the weather is nice, we might goes out of town for a walk in the countryside. If the weather is bad, we sometimes go shopping or just relaxing at home. We have our evening meal at about 6 o'clock. In the evening, my wife makes phone calls to her family. It's interesting to hear all the family news. We usually playing a board game and listen to music before bed. We going to bed around 10:30. Take some time now to find those 14 mistakes. And let's see these mistakes together. I gets up is a mistake. I running. I goes. I has a shower. My wife don't run. We are eating. We drinks coffee. We walks. Making lunch. My wife reads. We might goes out of town. Just relaxing at home. We usually playing. And we going. All these are mistakes. See now if you can correct those mistakes. All the verbs should be in present simple because these are repeated actions. They happen every Saturday. Pause the video now and try to correct those mistakes. I'm sure you did a great job. Let's read through the corrected text again to see how you did. My name is Eddie, and this is my typical Saturday. I get up early because I go for a run every week. If it is sunny, then I run in the park, but if it is raining, I go to the gym and use the treadmill. After my run, I come home and have a shower. My wife doesn't run with me, so while I am running, she makes breakfast. After my shower, we eat breakfast together. We eat pancakes and drink coffee. Sometimes we also eat fresh fruit. After breakfast, we walk to the local shop to buy a newspaper. We do some chores at home in the morning and make lunch. We have a roast dinner for lunch about once a month. After lunch, we have a cup of tea and read the paper. I read the sport and the news, and my wife reads the business section. When we have rested, and if the weather is nice, we might go out of town for a walk in the countryside. If the weather is bad, we sometimes go shopping or just relax at home. We have our evening meal at about 6 o'clock. In the evening, my wife makes phone calls to her family. It's interesting to hear all the family news. We usually play a board game and listen to music before bed. We go to bed around 10:30. Well done if you found and corrected all those mistakes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully it has given you more confidence in using the present simple tense. If you found this video useful, like and subscribe and tell your friends. Write in the comments what you found helpful and tell me what else you want to learn. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.